Welcome to today's video. My name is Mike Wood and I am your model tree supplier. From modeltreestore.com, I'm going to show you today how we can take this and turn it into this. So stick around and let's see how we make it happen. No, I'm not advertising for them, but here are a few different types of glue options. I've heard some people talk about using hairspray, so we've got this 4x mega hairspray that we're going to try. And then I've used an Elmer's spray adhesive before, and so ran out and just had to pick up some new stuff there. So those are the glue options that we'll use to glue our trees together. I guess we can leave that here. And then we're going to use sagebrush as our primary armature, of course. Different sizes available at modeltreestore.com. And then a variety of different things to top those trees or fill them out. So I've got some flower top materials here from ground cover, sedum or dragon's blood ground cover. So I gathered some of that, and here's what that looks like in nature. These are the red tops of the flower that are all dried up after they flowered the first year. So this is what they look like afterward. Then I found this little tree. It's called a smoke tree. It's the common name for it. Up the street, and thought, well, maybe I'll try that. Those look pretty good, and I can pull little pieces of that off and use that to top the trees. Glue some of that on, and so we're going to try that one. And then one that I've found that works really well is from this flower, and this is just the tops of the dead part of a plant that flowers every year. And I gathered a bunch of this last year, so this is something you'll see in landscaping around town sometimes. So those are all the options, so let's get creating. Now I also have these different colors of super leaf material from Scenic Express. So I've got the light green option, I've got the medium green, super leaf, and then we've got the olive green option, and spring green. So all of those are things that we will use, and then I am going to use a glue gun, hot glue, as you'll see, to glue things together here. Now, one of the first things you'll want to do is decide on the size of tree you're going to create. So depending on the scale that you're working with, we might want a small tree that runs around 2 to 3 inches tall. And you can take the armature and clip off anything that you don't want. So if we want that to be limited to 2 inches, and it's already at 2 inches with the branching, and we want to add foliage to it, then we might clip some of those off with some pliers. And so we'll clip that a little bit and set that aside. Maybe we want to do a little larger version tree. We've got one here that's 9 inches tall, but maybe I want to do just that part of it. You know, maybe I want to do a tree that's what, 4 to 5 inches in height. And so I can come in here and I think I'll cut that off right down there. And then show you how we can add to that to make it as full as we want. This has some kind of a little insect item there, and we'll go ahead and maybe we'll use that as a wasp nest. It kind of looks like that, doesn't it? So we might use that. Come on, focus. Doesn't want to focus on that. There we go. So we can use that as a wasp nest on there. So that will set up to the side there, and we will get started as soon as this glue gun heats up. So basically what we're going to do is take pieces of these other elements, and I'm going to do a tree with each of them so that we can see the difference in them. And so we'll shape this tree. If we want to change that shape a little bit so that it looks a little different, we can. If we want to add something over here, we could easily do that with some of these. We could take that and add a branch right over there, or same thing with this other material, we could add that branch, or we could even take a piece of the sagebrush that we cut off and add a more substantial branch over there. So maybe we'll do that. We'll take this piece right here, cut that off, and we can go ahead and add that in there. So we don't need that part, and that's pretty much what I do want there, is something like that. And so we can add that right there. And if we wanted to do a little bit of glue or something, we could do that. I think if we just carefully cut this, we may not even, paint. If we wanted some paint, we could paint it. But honestly, I think just doing that right there will get us a pretty good looking tree. And we'll pull that right over there. So we've got it nice and full. And that'll be the first piece we're going to glue on. Okay, so now we've got that tip heated up pretty good, so we can get to work here. I'm just going to pull off some of that glue from the side first. We don't need to have a whole lot of glue on here necessarily. Decide where we want that. And I'm going to try and clean that up just a little bit. I don't really want a lot of that glue staying there. There we go. So you really don't see that hot glue much at all. in the branching there. And like I say, if you wanted to paint this with a little bit of paint, get a little different color on the trunk, you could do that. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and take the newest stuff that I haven't actually tried yet, this material, and I'm going to start adding that to the tree. So I will just take a dab of glue right there, and I'll come and put that right on the tree there. And then I will continue doing that with this piece. And I'm going to glue some of these right to the center trunk there. And I might want to, that's where that string's coming from. I might want to press that against the trunk a little. Yeah, it's not really adhering, so we might do a little more glue on it. So if I get these other materials out of there, if I take my glue gun and give it a decent amount of glue all around there. And I'm just going to push that material up into it. So that it will go where I want it to. And it's all dry. So you might need to move a little faster. Like I say, I've never used this smoke tree material before. This is new to me, but I saw it there and thought, you know, that looks like potentially good material that I could use. And so I'm testing it out. And we'll see how it holds up. Right now it's looking a little brittle. Looking like things are falling apart on me more than I like. I've noticed that it's kind of hard to find the main stem parts on this stuff. And that's really all we're doing here, is just sticking it on so that it fills out the tree. It's not I don't feel like it takes any incredible amount of skill or artistic ability. If you know what a tree looks like, then you can make this look like a tree. So there we have the tree with this material. Little spider webs all over it. You will get that a bit with the spray or with the glue gun, glue stick kind of stuff. So now we need to take it to the box and spray it. Now I'm using actually, since this is all an experiment anyway, let's use the stuff I've never used before. So we'll use this 4x Mega Hold hairspray on this one. And I like to do this over a box in the house or else do it outside. But basically I am just going to spray that. So I can get it heavily coated with my spray glue. And then I want to catch the material. We'll start with some dark green here. Very quickly you can see that tree become a tree as the super leaf material adheres to all those little branches. Now if you want some variety to it, you can add some different colors. If you want to get rid of some of those branches there that aren't grabbing the leaves, we can pull those off. And then I want more leaf material up there. So a lot of that did not stick, and yet we still have a pretty full tree that I'm fairly happy with. Let's see what the others look like. So the next one I'm going to do is a small tree here. So we're going to take this tiny one and turn it into a nice tree. So we'll cut a few of those off there. And next I'm going to use this flower top stuff. And I don't know what kind of flower it is, but it's fairly sturdy. And I kind of like that. This is a small tree, so we may not need a whole lot of this stuff. And with many of these, I think I'm going to take them right down to the tiniest level. Carefully cut each of those off. put some in there and decide if I want some on this. And I might want a little bit, just some small pieces there. We have a little right here. I want to glue that so I don't need that much. So got a little green. And up in here, a small piece in there. I want to put that in down there, we do not, so we just put that glue right down there. This little piece. I feel like that is pretty full. I am going to go ahead and add some more right here. And I'm barely letting any glue out. You don't have to squeeze much on this glue gun. We just really don't need a whole lot. You don't want big gobs of glue on there necessarily. There. Now we've got our tree pretty full. Let's take it over to the box and spray it. And I'm going to use the old spray glue on this one. This is more my traditional style. So I'm going to put a glove on. It just broke on me. That's alright, it'll still work. Just to protect my fingers a little bit. Alright, so now we've got a little, what is it, a 2 inch to 3 inch tree. 2.5 inch tall tree there. And I am going to use some of this material that I already have down here on a previous tree. It has a mixture of colors in it and some other little pieces of stuff. Make sure that's all broken up. No recent glue sprayed in it there, so I'm going to use that. There's some old trees there. Alright, so that'll be the stuff that we'll use. That spray glue is a little more toxic smelling. Ugh, a little stickier. It's glued my glove to my armature here. I think I like the hairspray. Although if you do it in a well-ventilated area, you may only need to spray it once. And there we are with that tree finished. Okay, so we got to decide what we want this tree to look like. And I think we'll cut some of that off. We'll leave that one in there. And then I want to add a branch in there, so I'm going to take from this one here. Oh, and I forgot we've got a little there it is, a little, if you want to add it, that wasp's nest. And so I think we're going to do that and just add to that tree right there. Not that big. And cut that there so it will go against the tree well. And boom, just like that. So I'm going to have to squeeze this out the drop line. So use that. That one's pretty good, I think. And I could, if I wanted to worry about filling it out here, I could. I'm not going to worry about that because trees often have different shapes that aren't necessarily uniform, right? So we'll push some of that material out of the way. And this one, we're going to use the sedum flower tops and add those. And I've also got a lot of leaves from the sagebrush itself that will add bulk to this. So cut some of that off there, and I'll start by putting that right up in there. So the purpose of this stuff is really just to catch more of the greenery when we put that super leaf material in here. All of these little pieces that are bigger bulk will help fill out the tree. That looks pretty good. I'm going to take it to the box. And I'm going to use the hairspray this time. Alright, and there is our finished tree. So here are the final trees. This one had the smoke tree branching and hairspray. And we moved on to the sedum material. With spray glue, and then this little one is the other flower material. Definitely more full. I can see quite a different look between each tree and how they fill out, but all of them look like trees. Don't forget to click subscribe and give me a thumbs up on the video here.